Okay, so where we are? So now we discover subqueries, right? So we'll go next. Okay, so the date. Date is most important part of any project. So let's see what is the complexity in date. Okay. Not only that, right? So this is one of the important part. Like if I'm saying 2 o'clock, it doesn't mean that 2 o'clock, right? It's 2 o'clock IST. Understood, right? 2 PM dot IST. Now the time is 9 AM IST. What is the meaning of IST? Indian Standard Time.
Indian
What is the meaning of
Standard
Indian?
Time.
What is the meaning of Indian Standard Time? IST. What is the meaning? Zone. Right. So this one is simple, right? So what is the difference between India and Saudi Arabia? The time difference. 2.5 hours. Right. What is the difference between India and Europe? There are many different time zones. Too many different time zones, right? So I was there in Canada, right? So Canada one time zone is there. They will be using CST, right? So and you know what is the EST? EST. Okay. European Standard Time, right? Eastern Standard Time, not European, Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So is that enough? No. There is another complexity added. The complexity is every 6 months they will change the time. You know that? Anyone here? Every 6 months they manually change time +1 and -1. What is that called? Can you guess? Daylight saving. What will daylight saving? Daylight saving. Okay. So why they will do that? Right. So what will happen is the day become smaller in 6 months, and one time they will become bigger. Right. The best time zones are Indian time zone. It's Asia, especially whatever we are time zone following, right? So we'll not see much difference, only 1 hour something, right? So when I was there in Canada, right? You know, when the Isha used to happen there, 11:30. And when is the Fajr? 2:30. Understood? It's a sunset and Maghrib is at 9 o'clock. Right? So sunset and sunrise will get changed drastically. If you are going to Norway and other places, right? So 22 hours they will be having day. 22 hours a day. So there is a lot of complexity when it comes to time. So every day, 6 months, what they will do, they will use to change the time. When I was there in France also, what they used to do is like they on the day on the time when I went, it's a very long back. I went in 2012 or 2013, right? So on those days, they will be having manual clocks, not even they are using mobiles mostly, right? So manually, next day morning, they will correct the times. All the clocks, even small clock and watch, everything they will add 1+1, right? If 6 months over, they will reverse it. So even in call, they will say like tomorrow onwards, we are going to change the time zone. So you can sleep 1 hour more tomorrow, right? It is very, very nice day. So if you are feeling light, you are waking up at morning and see like, we are having another 1 hour to sleep. It's very, I don't know how to express. So time zones are very complex parts. Now, we faced one issue in when I'm working with the EST time zone. So I'm creating one ticket. That ticket should be processed within a second. Within maximum 5 seconds, the ticket should processed. Okay, that's our code. It's taking how much, 1 hour 5 seconds. So we thought like we are having problem with our code. We're using EST only, right? Everything is same, but when we are saving, what's happening is getting changed to 1 hour. You know why? What is the reason? 5 days before it was working. Now it's not working. Why? The daylight saving changed and we hard coded the value. You understood? Right? It should come as a dynamic. But what happened? This time zone is called EDT, not EST. E with daylight saving. Right? So we are very good that we are in India. We don't have any confusion. And we are not having even drastic changes in sunset and sunrise. But we are going Europe in other places. Here, that's major problem for them, right? So day will become very big or day will become very small. You know, I used to finish my Isha also at 6 o'clock when I was in Canada. Right? Fajr, when is the Fajr? Guess. 8:30 is the Fajr. Oh yeah, different. So there's a lot of time zone changes will happen. Okay. One time I read for 2:30 also night. And another thing is I did at 8:30 also Fajr. So like that, here you can feel the difference. Maximum half an hour, right? Maximum 1 hour difference. But there you can find a lot of difference in time zones. So there is a lot of complexity there in when you're using dates. So don't think like it's simple number. It's not a number. It's having a lot of calculations. Okay. So when you're creating with dates, you need to think all those criteria. And then, so for example, if I'm saying like I'm going to create a one application which will be having sales, right? Sales will be having 2 hours delivery, 3 hours delivery. I'm maintaining. You need to mention which country you are part of it. You need to mention which time zone you are planning. Right. Another big problem which we faced is Japan. You know about Japan, right? They are Mr. Perfects, right? So when you are working with Japanese people, you need to follow all the standards. Even they won't allow you to have one or two milliseconds differences. So there is one concern. They are saying our sales, everything reports are coming correctly. But when you are getting the report, for example, we sell today for 1,500. When you're getting the report, we are getting 1,200. You sales from morning to evening. You close the shop, right? So you know from starting 100 rupees to started sales are happening. So end of day you are going to close it, right? So it means right what you show from morning to evening how much you are getting sold, right? But when you're taking the report is showing wrong values. How they did, they calculated manually and they compared with report. They identified the problems, right? So guess what is the problem?
Excuse me, sir. Sir, do you sharing the screen?
No. It's a theory
Okay, sir.
only. So I just want to know what is the problem there. You understand my question? They are saying from morning to evening they are selling. And when they are getting the report of complete sales, they are getting the difference. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Why? Time zone. We are calculating time zone on EST, right? So they are selling, but what happening is it's crossing 12 o'clock. Their 8 o'clock will be more than the time which is happening next day. It's moving to next day. So we are calculating based on EST, but Japanese time zone is different. I don't know, remember that time zone. Because of that, what's happening is the calculation is getting changed. Because of that, they are getting wrong cells. So time zones are very, very crucial when you are comparing the dates. Not only time zones, sometimes seconds also cause issues. Right. So one time what happened is you are sending one message at 3 o'clock. You are getting it 2:55. Is it possible? I sent 3 o'clock. You are getting 2:55. Is it possible? All right. So because of many things, many problems will come. Another big problem, what you know. So you are having database server, you are having application server. Application server in America, database server in Japan, for example, right? And you are using this application from client browser, you are in India. There are three things. When you are seeing the time, here you are seeing, right, 9:11, right? It's not actually time, right? So you are submitting some request. It's following three time zones. One is your browser client is going to server which is in America. That's a different time zone. And then that is going to Japan database. You know, which database you need to maintain? Which time zone you need to maintain? Why? Why? You are using client, right? So you should see the time in your browser, right? How it will happen? You understand the complexity, right? So for example, same application used by Russia. They will see their time, right? Not Indian time. If you are opening, you should see Indian time, right? Understand, right? But database is there in Japan. Server is there in America. So lot of complexities will come when you are using database. So please mind, when you are using any database, you need to be careful and you should always save the data with time zones. Okay, if you are saving time zones, you don't need to worry. For example, you can save in IST itself, no problem. But when you're taking the data, you can convert it, right? Now 9 p.m. IST means what is the Saudi time? You can add 2.5 hours. No confusion, right? If you are able to save the data with time zone, no problem. If you are just saving 2:30 a.m., right, it's a big problem. So please be careful when you're saving any database, always save with the time zone. Once you are saving, you can convert to any data, right? Yes or no? If you're not saving, then it's a big problem. So normally when I saw when I use freshers for creating projects, right? So they will always forget to save the data. They will save it as a string, right? Database will save it as a string. What will happen in that case? You will not be having time zone, right? So there is a lot of problems. Even dates will get changed. Canada को India कितने घंटे फर्क है? 11 hours. 11 to
9
12
hours,
hours.
sir. 9.
No, actually there are 3 time zones in Canada. Okay, so one is Toronto, something EST they will follow, and other countries there is one thing called forgettable. I don't want to make it complex. There are 4.5 hour difference in Canada itself. Canada, if you're going 4.5 difference in Canada itself. So time zones are a lot of difference. Time zones are there. Okay. So now let's back to our topic. So time and date is very complex part. Whenever you are creating any application, you need to give special attention to date and time, and when you are generating report also. So now let's back here. So here, what is the column which you feel like having? Let me share my screen. So this one is the time, right? Now let's see the type of this data. Date. Let's see what is this type. We'll discuss it later. This is the best way. If I'm using string here, it's a big problem. We're using date, then it's good. We'll discuss it later. Okay. So now let's back to query. Now you can see the time here, right? So let's write some queries for this. Okay. I want to know who joined yearly. First person who joined in this company. How to write a query?
Select from EMP.
Hmm.
Order by.
Hmm.
Order by.
I did DSC. DSC or ascending?
Limit we also write that, sir.
So you can see the query, right? So what is the result? So he joined in 1990. Who? King. He is the first person who created this company, right? So he is the motion. Who is the second one? Like when he joined?
11th, 1992.
11th, 1992. After 2 years, he worked alone. He joined in that company, right? So now, how I can get second person. Limit
Limit 2, sir.
2 comma
1.
So is this Clark who joined on? Is it correct? So now let's run this query again. See, I want to run only without limit. I can select that one. I can execute. Okay. Should be like this. He joined, right? So this is the query per second, right? So now I want to know how much experience each person is having in months. How we can do that? So for that, we need to know the current date. What is today's date, right? So how will do that? Select current date from dual. What is dual? I will explain. So what is today's date? Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So current date. So what if you want to get the date, I can use the method called current date. Okay. So dual is a dummy table. They created one dummy table to run this type of queries, which will give you some calculation. For example, if I want to know 120 plus 40, for example, I can use this dual table to do the calculation, right? Right. So this table is not having any column. It's having one column, one row. Nothing is there. It will help us to calculate this type of queries. Right? If I want to know the current date and time, I don't need any table, right? For current date time, why I need any table? I can use this dummy table to get the details. Okay. So I'm writing current date. Right. So if I'm running this, you can get right. So for example, if I want current date time, right? Right. What is the current time? What is the time? Is it correct?
9:19:28 seconds.
Right. So with seconds I am getting. Even I can go milliseconds. I can write a query in such a way that I can get milliseconds. Okay. For example, if I want some more details, right? Current right? It is current timestamp means with the date and time, seconds, everything is coming there, right? Okay. So another big problem which I feel from Oracle to MySQL is in Oracle, we are not having this current time concept. We will be having sys date. If you are going to Oracle, we will be using sys date. So dual table is there, but we will write a query like this. Here also it's there. They added. I think let's see whether it will work or not. It's working. Okay. Sys date, sys timestamp. So that's part of a Oracle. But here, if you are using application, if you are going little older version of MySQL, it will not work because current time and current date is the standard for MySQL. Okay. So now, if I want to know experience between, for example, I want to know the how many years, right? So what is my age, for example? Okay. So how I'll write is, I'll write. I need how to calculate my age now. If you want to calculate your age, how you will calculate? What you will do? You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you will do?
Up to year to minus to bond date.
Minus, right?
Minus.
Current year minus
born
birth
year.
date of birth, right? So here also I need to do the same, right? So I will write current date minus that particular date. I'm not going there because I need to convert it to that date. I will come to that. Okay. So I need to current date. I need to minus with my date of birth. Right. If I'm doing reverse, it will come in negative. Right. So always I need to go with that. So another thing is one thing called date difference. Right. This one will give me how many dates difference. So now let's come back to our query. Right. I want to know how much they are having experience till now. Right. So what I will do is I will use that just name. I want the name of that particular employee and I want their experience. Right. So I will write date div. Then I will add syntax. What is the syntax? Come automatically because I poor in spelling current date and high date. High date spelling correct only, right? Now, huh? What? Full of letters. Right? Date diff means data difference, date differences. So it will give me always in months. So if you want to make it years, what I need to do? Right? Is it correct? It will give months or days. I don't know. Let me do one thing. 365. Yeah. It will give me with the days. So if I'm using the days, I can get the experience from them. Right? So now you can see Smith is having 32. Right? King, where is the king? King is having 35. He's the most experienced guy. Right? Who is the most less experienced? So if I want to know what is the difference, I can get this by using this query. Right? So now the question is, I want to know. Let me run the previous query again because I cannot remember the dates, right? So I'm having image, okay. So I want to know who joined on 1998. I want to know the list of people who joined on 1998. Can anyone tell me the query? If someone is telling correct query, then it's good. Who joined on 1998? So I will write a query. Any clue? बोलो भाई. Because we have to use, right? Tell me how. Assalamualaikum. आगे बस आगे. Go to workspace. Select. Select. Quickly. I want to know names who joined on 1998. We also need one.
Select star from EMP. Select star from EMP.
Select name from EMP, where
Where E
higher
name
date is
no, higher
equal to
date equal to 1998.
1998. This is not a string column. This is a date.
Date. Higher date.
If you're running this, what will happen? Let's see. Let's try it. Okay. What is the result?
Only E name came, sir.
Okay.
Nothing
Now
came.
let's try like. I also want to try like 1998. Okay, single quotes. It will work. Right? It's working, but this is not the right way. Tell me what I can do, because if he joined on Jan, so it will cause problem. Huh? नाकू दे having the group by use करने तो बोलो मैं डेट फॉर्मेट देखता हूँ क्वेश्चन में मान लो क्या बोलो जल्दी
Using date format.
Sir, can we use date?
yes tell me
Select
Date format, DD,
select
date, month,
name.
year.
a date equal to
Select E name, comma,
select e name comma
date,
date. What is date? Huh? Higher date. Okay, higher date. From year B, where higher date equal to
81.
1998. Where is Betam? So honestly speaking, I am also a little confused on syntax. Okay, but how I will write is between where higher date between, right? Starting it should be 1998 01 012 1998 12 31.
Sir, you wrote 01 instead of 10, sir.
Okay. So what is the date we said? 0101, correct. Right? Because it's not a number, it's a string, it's a date format. Need to go with single quote. But still I want to know which format defaultly it will take. Let's see. Between का syntax wrong है. Between का syntax is एक सीनियर आना कोई क्या बोलते नहीं क्या? So you are getting two people, right? So in this format, if you are giving, it will automatically convert it to date. But this is not the way, because you are passing here what string? Yes or no? It is automatically, because the format it's accepting by default client is a day, this format. Okay, what is the format? Reverse, right? What I am doing? 1998 year first, then month, then normally Indians, so what format they will use? TD, MM, YY, right? But here, so
Here,
how to convert?
Y-
Correct. So this is the way. For example, if I want to know the current difference also, so this will, if the date is in string format, it will take default by this way. But how I can pass the date with date format. So there are many other functions are there. Okay, there is one function called str to date. I don't know. Actually, the problem why I couldn't able to remember is I am using mostly in Oracle. So, but we cannot install Oracle. That's why. So in Oracle, we will be using another method. It's called to date, to char. Assalamu alaikum. So we'll be using to date and to char. But here the syntax will change. Here to date. Let me try this. Take your difference, higher date difference. Your date 1/1/1990, 1990, 12/31. It's wrong, showing wrong date. It's right. Oh, ऊपर करना हुआ है. Syntactical error. What is the error? Okay, I need to give syntax. Here I will mention format याद है बाबा किसे तो y dd. Just I'm checking. Also small, I think. No. Let me see the formats. See the format, friends. All are capital. Right. Between 1998, date is correct only, right? 1998. This one is equal to 1998. Or we are not getting result. Okay, understood. And then try.
Just to hear no, sir. Why have to give YMD?
Sorry. Understood now.
Sir, in last you didn't present the D, sir. D. Last.
D only, right? Let me check this syntax. So what I here I'm going to do is like there is a difference between Oracle and MySQL. So normally the method for Oracle is to_date. If you want to convert any string to date, right? Here I am giving some number, but it's not a date object, right? So to convert that one, what we'll do is we normally go with we need to mention, right? So here %y, right? %y will take year, okay? %m will take month. %d will take a day, right? So month, day, year. So to convert that, we will be using string to date, right? So sometimes we need to convert to date to string also, right? For example, I want to show date of birth as Indian format. I will how I want to show 31st December, for example, 31 December to 1990. I want to show, right? So I can format it based on that, right? So there we need to convert in Oracle. If you are using, we are using to_char, right? But here when you are using, we are using str to date, right? Str date to string, date to string. So there are two formats are there. So I also not remembering that. Next class I will explain, but I want you to practice. You just try to convert date to string, string to date, and try to print the values in different formats. January 1st, 2024, January, like that, in that format. If you want to print, how we can print. So try that homework as well. Okay. So we'll discuss in next class also a little more about dates. I will also get prepared for that. Okay. Any questions still here? Just try to spend some time on date and timing and how we can convert to date to month, month to date. Okay. How we can get experience of particular employee, right? Date difference is there. So how many method differences are there? Try to get those details. Any questions here?
No, sir. Sir, can you please
Let
upload
me show
today's
you some
class?
other thing
In
also.
the middle, I left from here.
Sorry, Ma.
Today class, I left in the middle, sir. Will
Okay,
you please
okay.
upload, sir?
I will share video.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Let me get some syntax to show you the dates.
Who is there, ma, in the office room? Will you please call Ayama?
See, so we can get the time zones, we can get the dates, right? So you try all these functions if possible. But I'm not very good in MySQL time zones. Just try to practice, okay? So Monday we'll try to have a DML. So how we can create a table, DDL, DML, we'll discuss on it. How to create the tables, how to drop the tables, how to insert the data. So those things we'll discuss on Monday. We'll try to close mostly on Monday. Sorry, my laptop got shut down because of internet. So we'll be stopping this session today. So we'll continue on Monday with the DDL and DML.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tejaswini.
Yeah,
Hello.
Sharmila.
Start some questions now.
Ah,
I mentioned from the third one. First one, second one I missed. Will you please say for it?
1 minute.
మా కాల్ ఆయమ్మ
Third one,
first one, second one I want.
who is the accounting department manager? First one,
Who is accounting department?
manager.
Okay. And one more.
What is the minimum salary for the clerk in research job?
Minimum salary per clerk.
Research job. In research job.
Researcher.
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 only, no queries?
10.
I wrote from which department has major location. Is it fourth one?
Yes, fourth one.
What is third one?
Which location president is working from?
President is working from.
After that, I'm not right. Sir told that one.